Welcome to Experience Talks, a radio magazine for the experienced listener. I'm Cynthia Friedlob. This week we continue our tribute to our late friend and colleague, Bobbee Zeno. Bobbee was the founding producer and host of Experience Talks, which he co-produced with Tim Carpenter for the past 11 years. He was also the first program director at the Burbank Senior Artist Colony, where he created a community where there was none before he arrived. Today's musical rewind show, in honor of Bobbee, features his 2006 interview with Ernie Andrews, the soulful jazz vocalist whose career has spanned 7 decades, and he's still going strong now at age 86. He'll be performing in the Los Angeles area this summer and fall, so check his website at ernieandrews.com for details. And now, here's Bobbee.
Okay. Ernie Andrews, glad to have you on the show, man.
It's a pleasure, Bobbee.
Ernie, your birthday is Christmas.
Christmas Day.
And actually it turns out to be quite a gift for all of us, for jazz and music lovers. But what was it that your mother said when she gave birth to a healthy Ernie?
Well, when I spoke to my mother, God rest her soul now, when I spoke to my mother on Christmas about being born on Christmas, she would tell me, I don't want to talk to you because you stopped me from having my dinner. You know what I mean? And if I didn't think it hurt too bad, I'd send you back. That's my mother. She was a wonderful person and a jolly person, you know.
Oh, you too much. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Ernie, when you were a youngster, your family moved from Philadelphia to Jeanerette, Louisiana, where you studied with legendary mentor. But before we talk about the mentor and about that experience, you were already interested in music. Were you interested in music before you moved to Louisiana?
Yeah, my family didn't move to Louisiana. I moved to Louisiana from Philadelphia.
Okay.
But during those days, back in the late 30s and early 40s, you see, I used to go to the Lincoln Theater in different places in Philadelphia and look at Chick Webb and Jimmy Lunceford, Ella Fitzgerald, and all of those people. You know, I was quite a youngster. In fact, I had to go in with a grown person, in line outdoors to see the show. I had to ask them would they take me in, and then when I get into the show, I get lost, for 2 shows.
But how old were you when you were doing that?
Well, 9.
Wow.
10, you see, and that's when I was interested in. I know I was interested in music, and plus all of my folks were church singers. My mother and my father, and naturally I was brought up in the church in Philadelphia, so the singing was there. Everybody could sing. My mother was a harp. My father could sing from Virginia. My mother was from Louisiana. She could sing. And my grandmother was a harp. She could sing. And my uncles were the St. Mark Four in Louisiana. So,
wow, that's so. When you got to Louisiana, the Jeanerette Unified School System, there was a legendary trumpet player, Bunk Johnson.
That's right.
Who mentored folks like Louis Armstrong and other great musicians.
Right.
Now, he was your music teacher.
Yes, and I played drums.
You played drums?
Yeah, I was playing drums. Plus, I was always singing, but I was studying drums under Bunk Johnson, which gave me a lot of. I'm a time addict, I like time, and so playing the drums as a young man. That put me on time all the time.
So Bunk had a major impact on you.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Were there other childhood... So all these other folks, those were your sources of inspiration, too. Like you said, when you went to Lincoln Theater at 9 years old. So all of that became just one flurry of inspiration for you.
Yeah.
Now, how strong was your hunger to become a performer at at an early age. How, in other words, they were giving you inspiration, but for you actually to go out there and do it.
Well, I didn't really get into, my career started here in Los Angeles in 1945 at the Lincoln Theater, and I was a head usher there. And there was a gentleman by the name of Joe Greene who wrote all of the wonderful songs like Tears Float Like Wine and Across the Alley from the Alamo and all of those great songs. Soothe Me, he wrote for me. He wrote quite a few songs. Make Me a Present of You. He was a prolific writer. He wrote for Stan Genton a lot. Prolific
writer, and actually, and I want to get into that a little bit later. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is a guy that the combination of you and Joe Greene, you did some wonderful things.
He's 17 years old.
17 years old. Like I said, we'll talk about that. But when you did land in Los Angeles, you went to Jefferson High School.
Yeah.
And you attended a school that had some incredible musicians.
Oh, yes. Mr. Brown was a great music teacher over there. There were people, excuse me, like Dexter Gordon and we had Sonny Chris. A lot of the guys didn't go to Jeff, but they would end up there in the music class. It was just a host of musicians that came out of there.
I remember you telling me the other day. I mean, there was Eric Dolphy. It was Charles Mingus.
Yes.
And Buddy Collette a part of that?
Yeah, he was a part of Mr. Brown's musical direction over there.
Teddy Edwards?
Yes. Well, he came later. Teddy came later. He came from Mississippi.
Wow. So what was it like being in that kind of company of talent? Did it keep everybody?
I didn't know, and I don't know why I'm in this type of excuse me, this type of company today. I never thought of being in a type of company with anyone. I just was grateful to be in the company. And I didn't pay that any attention, And today I can thank all of these people like Gerald Wilson and all of these people, Miles Davis and Charlie Parker, and Sonny Chris and all of these people that allowed me to get on the stage at my younger age and to do whatever I had to do, and let me do that. Now, when I got out of line about what I think I want to do, and try to perform it too. I got it in my brain, but it don't come out in my mouth. They would tell me, my young man, let me explain something to you. When you get through doing it, when it comes natural, give it to us. That's why we have the instruments in our hands. But I'm thankful that they allowed me to do these things in my days.
You talked about coming from the church. Was it Baptist church?
Yes.
Okay. Now, that impacted your life and still does to this day. I mean, it's incorporated into who you are.
Yeah, because, it's just like they say when the Spirit hits you, holler, yes, indeed. And someone told me, says, well, you're a very loud singer. I says, yeah. I said, well, the Spirit, when it hits you, you come on with it.
Right. So, you mentioned Sam Brown, and so he was not only the teacher but the mentor for all y'all.
Oh, yeah. Listen, when you mention Sam Brown's name today to the older musicians, they know who he was. And he has a great honor over there at Jefferson High School.
I'd like to go and hear something that I heard the other day. You did a rendition of A-Train that is incredible. That was, it was off the hook. How did that all come about?
I got that idea from Billy Strayhorn's funeral.
Wow.
Yeah, they were there. Billy Taylor, Percy Bryce, and Earl Mabel was up in the loft playing this while they were having the service in New York.
It gave me chills listening to it. Why don't we go to that right now?
Okay. take the A train. You will find it that you'll get where you're going in a hurry. But if you should have to take the A train, you will find it that the city is awful pretty. You hurry, hurry, hurry. Now it's coming. Can't you hear? Can't you hear the drivers humming? You better get with it. I'm not much to look at. Oh, Lord, and I'm nothing to see. But I've got a lady and she's waiting for me. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Hurry, 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 hurry. And take the A train. Hurry, 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 and take the A train. You will find it to get where you're going in a hurry. Well, if you should have to take the A train, you will find it. The city's awful pretty. But don't bomb, sweet Georgia Brown. Hey, baby, don't want you just messing around, 'cause you gotta take the A train. You'll find it. You'll get where you're going in a hurry. Take the A train. You get to Sugar Hill in a hollow.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Man, that's incredible.
That's a funny line, isn't it? Billy Strayhorn, which says on the A train, the city is awful pretty. How would you know it underground? You can end up in Flatbush. If you don't know where you're going in New York, you'd end up in New Jersey somewhere.
Oh, but he was a great songwriter. You know how songwriters are.
A great composer and songwriter.
They paint pictures.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to do a song of his on my next album, Just Across Tomorrow's Mountain.
Wow.
Yeah.
When are you gonna
from
do that?
Beggar's Holiday.
Okay.
With Duke Ellington and Strayhorn and all of them.
Wow. Going back to the Lincoln Theater, you met Joe Greene, who later took you in the studio to record Soothe Me, which became an enormous hit.
Yes, it did.
It sold 300,000 records, and then you encountered 3 or 4 more hits, and you're 17 years old.
Yeah.
So
Don't Let the Sun Catch You Crying. He wrote Overnight for me at 17.
Is it true that you won't sing a song unless you can identify with the lyrics? I mean, it's got to resonate with you before you sing it.
That's right. You see, I find that singing songs that I live, I don't care who make hit records. That's great. That's their record. But if the lyric don't hit me from once I live,
right,
because that makes it honest. When I start singing some songs to you, I've been there and done that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that makes it honest, and it comes out.
We're going to go and listen to something you did with
Cat
Roland
Pierce.
Pete, with Cat Pierce.
With Cat Pierce.
You want to set this up for us?
Roland
Pete.
Yeah, no music.
Okay.
No music at all. Just everything is out there in the wind.
There you go.
Including me, off the top of my head. I've got a girl, lives up on that hill. I got a real fine mama that lives up on that hill. Well, now the girl try to quit me, oh, but I love her still, yeah. Well, she got eyes like diamond, teeth that shine like gold. Well, she got eyes like diamond, teeth like Klondike gold. Every time she kisses me, she satisfies my soul. Baby, now you're so beautiful, you gotta die one day. Well, baby, now you're so fine, you're gonna be mine one day. All I want's a little loving just before you pass away. Roll and Bob, I'm gonna jump for joy. Yeah, man, I'm happy as a baby boy. My baby's gonna buy me a high dramatic kitty car. Early in the morning, everybody's gonna shout, little mama, going away and leave you by yourself. Well, little baby, I'm going away and leave you by yourself. Well, you've been street learn, I've been street somebody else. I'm crying, yes, yes, I'm happy crying, yes, yes. Oh, yes, yes. Oh, yes, yes. Oh, yes, yes. Yes, I know well, oh, well. Well, oh, 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 well, oh, well. Oh, well, oh, well.
Roland Pete, I love it. That's Plaz Johnson. Who the musicians? Let everybody know.
Plaz Johnson, we had the late Blue Mitchell, and the late Nat Pierce, along with Frank Cap's band,
Wow.
Cap Pierce Orchestra.
Right, and Plaz is still doing it.
Oh, yes.
So that brings me to this. Ernie, would you consider yourself a storyteller?
I would think so. That's my plight, is telling stories. I never professed to be a great singer in my life. I like to tell stories.
Ernie, what are some of the lessons that you've learned to improve and strengthen your performance early on? You know, you went through Central Avenue, you went through all these big bands. Can you give us some of the lessons?
The only thing that I can tell you, I know what you're saying. What makes you carry on and get better in your craft?
Right.
Suffering.
Okay.
As you suffer, you can either get better or you suffer and get worse. So if you're negative, you'll get worse. If you're positive about who you are, why you are, for whatever reason you are, you'll get better.
It's been said about you that you got to see Ernie Andrews to really fully appreciate him, because you're a full-dimensional performer. I mean, you walk the floor, the contortions you go through, and your facial contortions, the handkerchief.
Yes.
They demonstrate a wide range of things, and so all that helps you project your story.
As Duke Ellington told me, who was a dear friend of mine for years, as Duke Ellington would say to me, never try to get 100 all at once. Take 50 at a time. So 50% of the way you look and 50% of the way you sound. But don't try to get to 100 to get it all at one time. You see, so when you're performing, I'll just say this to you. When you're performing, you move, you have contortions, you move, you give the people something to look at. If you don't sound good, they don't know what they're looking at. You understand? Lena Horne, Billy Daniels. See, these people, they moved on you, you see, and they kept pounding on you. You understand? Whatever they had.
They used. Right.
Yes.
Right on. In the genre of jazz, it seems it lends a style that makes you feel real comfortable and makes you feel right at home. I mean, that's the way I see you. What is it about jazz music that makes you feel this way?
I don't have any idea about jazz music. I have no idea. I just want to know if you're playing behind me and you're doing it right, okay, because I'm not imagining anything. I'm not creating anything. I'm performing. I'm not creating. And I do think jazz, and I hope they'll forgive me for this, I think it's a creation. You're creating at all times. And
but let me ask you this, though. I mean, we know that that's considered jazz,
yes.
that music, but would you sing another style? I mean, have you ever tried singing other styles of what's considered or categorized?
I didn't do calypso, and I'm not going to do rap.
Right.
I'm going to stay right here where I belong, what I know.
So that's the comfortable zone, and we love you for that. You've performed with a lot of bands in your career, and I can imagine you learned some different things from each one of these experiences. I'm going to name a few, and just to let us know what you got from working with them. Benny Carter,
the master. When I was with Benny Carter's band in Culver City, and they had a song called "I'm Lost," and I had it for a couple of days, but I couldn't live with it yet. I wasn't lost. But then when I went to work, I said, Mr. Carter, I says, would you please don't call I'm lost because I'm not quite ready. He says, okay, Ernie. Number 23, I'm lost. I sung it and never sung it again. Yeah, I did. I sung it on her album just a couple of years ago. But and Andy Kirk was my first band I worked with. And then, of course, Harry James from 59 to 69.
Yeah. Now, you learned, as you said earlier, you learned a heap
I
of
could
things.
not pay for the experience that I learned with Harry James. But sometimes I think if you learn too much too soon, later on you'll suffer.
What do you mean?
Well, you get to know too much ahead of the people and have been around the country and around the world and met many people and did many things. You had too much of everything and not enough for nothing.
Okay. I hear you.
And I've had a lot of beautiful things in my life, but I haven't been at the portal of what they call stars and stardom.
We're going to go to a tune right quick. I've got to pass your house to get to mine.
Well, isn't that the truth? I've got to pass your house to get to my house, and that's what makes me blue, wondering who is sitting with you and doing the things that I used to do. I have to close my eyes to see in your eyes, for in your eyes I see no longing for me, just deep sympathy, a message that says it just had to be. I may wander here and there, looking for a thrill. Someone else could make me care.
Ernie,
Yes.
share that with us, what we just got through talking about, man, about what this song is all about.
Well, you know, you carry your ladies' books home from school, you know.
Yeah.
So one day you get a little naughty in school, so the teacher keep you in, you know. So you go outdoors and the little lady's gone. So you live on the east side, and she lives on the west side, you understand? So you had to pass her house. You go all the way to the west side to come back to the east side where you live, just pass her house to get to your house.
Oh, my goodness gracious. That's really I got to ask you this. You'll be 79 on Christmas.
Yes,
Your singing chops, man, are still fabulous.
thank you.
How do you do it? I mean,
I tried to take care of myself to my best ability, and I've took a couple of beatings across the way, but I try to take care of myself, get my rest, and
rest is key, huh?
yeah, I get my rest, and I try to eat well. You understand?
Yeah.
I raised 5 children and I was married 53 years to the same lady.
My
And
goodness.
I had 4 boys and a girl, and they're all grown children. I have 10 grandchildren and 5 great-grandchildren today.
Wow, that's wonderful, man.
Yeah. So, you know, you live your dreams and enjoy the ride.
There you go.
And that's our musical rewind show in honor of our friend Bobbee Zeno. Tim Carpenter called Bobbee the great connector and said his laugh could lift you up. He was loved and will be missed by many. We hope you'll join us this afternoon at Burbank Senior Artist Colony from 2 to 5 for the annual Engage in Creativity event, which is being dedicated this year to Bobby's memory. We'll have food, fun, and lots of great music that Bobbee loved. Get a link to details on our experiencetalks.org website, where you'll also find information about today's guest, Ernie Andrews. John Semper Jr. and I prepared today's program. Experience Talks is produced by the nonprofit Engage. Thanks to founder and executive director Tim Carpenter. And thanks to you for listening.